And we are back from the break. Sorry for the extra delay. Alright, so, let's see. We were going to follow Finn and Lafdul heading to the warehouse. You guys got some ideas of what you want to do?
We had a concept we'd worked out, although we haven't discussed it in-game. So obviously there's this conversation. I was like, yeah, we should probably check out that place. I mentioned to Seelan that it's probably not in my best interest to appear as me, but I guess they may not recognize you.
Well, that was part of what I wanted to find out, is if they do or not.
It does bring up a point. Do I think I've been tailed at all?
What is your intelligence?
14.
Okay, I'm going to roll a check for you. No, you don't believe you've been tailed.
Alright. I'll probably mention it to the party that we may be... I don't know if we're being tailed, but it's probably something to be on the back of your minds if he's gathering information about us. So, yeah. So, what, you just want to go in there just to see if he recognizes you, or...?
Yeah, but I'm going to have a reason to go in.
So what, I go in first? What, I say you're looking for something, or...?
No, just... I thought about it some more. That could end up compromising your cover.
I wouldn't go as me. I'd be...
I know, but then that would associate your alter self with me. And I think that could end up not being good. So just go in, do what you're going to do. I'll go in. I'm going to go to the market first anyway.
Question?
Yeah?
If somebody is scrying, what exactly do they find out?
Depends on what they're scrying for. I mean, what type of scrying they're doing. Usually it is just visual.
Could it be sort of spying on somebody?
I mean, that's what it is, essentially. You know, it's like watching them from afar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so Lever could cast Detect Scrying.
Absolutely.
She will do that.
You want to do that while you guys are still together, so that, like, find out if you're watching...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright, hold on, see. That'll be one to explain to the magister. Tell you what.
Alright, the spell does not reveal that anyone is currently scrying you.
Okay.
Is it specifically only scrying spells? It's not just like anything like mind read or...
It is specifically scrying spells, yeah.
Things like clairaudience, clairvoyance.
Yeah. Okay, so, Yep.
There's something for another day, Finn. It's just realised, obviously, this is going to be important to us, for us to remember, because obviously it was me who threw the sword. Could you do your, like, time pool thing if I try to describe the scene and what happens there, so we can at least know what the sword looks like? We might be able to find the sword, or... I don't know, maybe he might have elaborated more on the situation than actually had happened. Or maybe we might be able to scry on him being impacted on that sword on that day. If we surround the events leading up to it or something. If you understand my trail of thought.
Yeah, we could do something like that, just not in the court, of course.
No.
Right, but it definitely might get you, like, you know, if you can see the event and he comes in and says, like, I saw him specifically look at me and laugh evilly and then throw the sword right at me, you know, then you know that he's telling he's lying, you know.
The problem is, Lafdul would just start laughing if that accusation went at him. And it would not help him.
Actually, can Leva change her plans?
From going to meet Large Luigi?
Yes,
Sure.
she would actually like to go with the two to the market. And I mean, the scrying spell that goes for 1d6 turns plus 1 turn a level. So it's a fairly long time.
Okay, but Lafdul was going to be going in disguise, and Finn was going to be going as himself to see if he's recognized since he wasn't there for that initial event. How would you be then going? And they're going separate, essentially.
There's nothing that says that Leo has to be with them, and there's nothing that says that Leo has to be close to them. After all, it's a 100-foot radius where she would just walk around.
So, like, hide outside and wait kind of thing? Is that what you're thinking?
Not wait, but move around. She just would keep away from that guy's place.
Okay.
You got any polymorph self spell memorized?
Oh, she doesn't have it memorized.
I will use my polymorph self, and I will lend you my hat of disguise. So I do not want you being you anywhere near that place, ideally.
So basically, all three of you are going there together separately.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make our own.
Okay.
And Leva would keep looking around and moving around. She would not stay in one place.
Right. And Finn, you said you wanted to go to the Great Market first.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to do there?
Specifically, I was going to poke around at some of the various stalls and inquire about animal figurines made from high-end stone and/or gems.
There might be some. Is there a specific? Is this for a spell?
No.
Okay.
This is for my cover story.
Yes, the cover story.
I won't actually be buying anything.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So I'm going to be introducing. Well, I know someone. Are we still going with that premise? That because you had, I think you indicated concerns about it. Do I indicate that I know someone that is looking for statues? And I introduce you, or
I guess it would depend. Are you going in as a merchant?
I'm going. I haven't really come up with who I'm going as. I guess I'll be someone who's looking to buy stone because I am a stone carver, and that's relatively new. He would have no information on me being a stone carver. Or statue maker, whatever. So I'm just appraising stone stuff. So
maybe mention that you had a customer who was asking about such things.
All right, yeah. Let's see what stones working material he has.
Okay.
So like marbles and some of the higher end.
All right. So, Finn, you would be directed to a few stands that have some like statuary and figurines carved out of various stones, from like marble to soapstone, of various qualities. Not too many in the Great Market that would actually have like ones carved out of more expensive materials like actual gems. And you would be more directed to some of the jewelers around town for that kind of thing.
Okay. I just keep inquiries. That's all.
Okay. You're mainly just getting it so that if rumors circulate, then it's like someone is asking about that kind of thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Or if I'm being followed, it gives me a premise for going in there anyway.
Okay. So then you make your way down to the House Falderic business premises. Lafdul, would you be going in first? Or do you want to like wait and go in after he goes in?
Wait. Why would Finn be going in with me? No, because I would be
No, but I thought you wanted to both be in there at the same time, but not together. Not, like, apparently together.
No, I think the plan was for us to be at completely different times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, did you want to...
I would go in alone.
Did you want to go in after him? Like, after he's come out?
I think the cover story is that I'm looking to buy material for him. Maybe I bring him in saying, "Do you want?" I'm going to be like a sculptor or whatever. I'm saying here, this guy has materials. What kind of statue do you want your figurine to be made out of? Here's what he's got to sell. So that's how we'll present it. So at the moment, I'm just going in, seeing if he's actually got stone. I'll come back. I'll bring my friend. And obviously he'll have his stone prepared, or if he has any, working material. And I say, here, if we look over here, we've got this material, this material, this material. I can work on this. We just talk, we make conversation. Obviously, we'll get a look in for the inside place, and obviously we'll see if he recognizes ceiling at that point as well.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay. So you will go in first, Lafdul?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will go as looks like someone that's got like sculpting equipment, the appropriate attire, maybe not like
Leather apron covered in stone dust kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
Okay. Human or elf, half-elf, or something else?
Probably half-elf.
Okay. All right. So you enter the building, and you can tell that about a third of the first floor is taken up by what amounts to a showroom, demonstration room, or someplace to show off the goods. And you can tell that there are doors in the back leading to a warehouse section. Would you have, like, surreptitiously circled the building just to get a feel for, like, what the exterior of the building
and
is?
Stuff. Yeah, I just get a feel for the whole place.
Okay. On the alley, there is a large door that...
Import, exports?
Well, a large door to the warehouse section. So the way to get stuff in, it's not right on the street, it's in the alley, but a way to get the stuff into the warehouse portion.
Does it look like it's locked, or is it just barred?
From the outside,
Just
it is
like...
impossible to really tell.
Oh, yeah, I was just glancing, so...
It is... You do not see any obvious, like, guards or anything like that on the exterior.
Mm-hmm.
So you head into the showroom, and one of the one employee there comes up to you and says, "Ah, welcome, welcome to House Faldric. I am Vran. What can I do for you today?"
Hi, I introduce myself as Ryan Thal Farcarver. I'm not sure if I've pronounced that right, but it's something along that line.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if you have any quality stone, carving stone, at all in stock, or maybe have in stock or can import, or, what? Do you have anything like that? I'm looking to carve a statue, or to bring my friend here to look at the materials you got to work with.
Well, we do always, we can always make special orders if there is something in particular you want that we do not have, but right now we are, we do have a fine collection of hard stone in the form of jade. If you'd like to look at it here, and he will take you over and show you a large piece of jade that would definitely be suitable for carving.
I try to get a rundown of all stone types that he does have. So, Is this the only material you have, or is there other things? Obviously, jade's a very good material to work with.
Right now, yes. We do have a large assortment of cut and uncut gemstones, but not really suitable for carving, unless you're carving something very small, like a cameo or something of that nature.
You can make some, if you got like anything like tiger eyes, they make very striking eyes in animal figurines. My friend is looking for maybe a cat or an owl or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to discuss the finer details depending on the material.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have any of that on hand. If you give me a moment, I will consult my my directory. So he goes to look at a document, flip through some pages, and you get a chance to like glance around at other things. You can see some samples of fine wool. There are some stacks of leather, and there's a crate of ore, which looks like it's probably iron.
Sorry, just to clarify something. Did he say something about him having gems recently?
He did, yes. And he's checking a document right now for Tiger Eye.
No, I obviously being a gem person, I would be able to come up with some other alternative good gemstones that would fit within, eye stones for a statue.
Yeah, I mean, just about anything can, depending on what you want it to look like, so.
Yeah.
He comes back and says, "No, unfortunately, we do not have any uncut tiger eye. We do have a good assortment of uncut amethyst, but the majority of the what else we have is cut stones, imported from a number of the dwarven citadels hereabouts. It's fine, gems if you are interested in having things to inlay inside some statuary. He'll give you a rundown of some like fancy and precious stones that he has.
Does he have any displays or anything on displays?
He
samples?
Will tell you that he can get a tray of samples from the back room.
All right, no, I'll do it. I'm obviously just making small talk, talking about business. How's business been going on?
Do you want him to go get the samples?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait right here.
I'm trying to build up a rapport, get some trust or whatever.
I just wasn't sure if you actually wanted to see the samples. I didn't get it.
I'm generally curious,
Okay. So he heads back. You glance around a little bit more. There is a guard standing by the front door, and he is watching you.
That's fine.
But you're also the only person in here, so.
Yeah.
So he comes back after a few minutes with a tray, a wooden tray, separated into small, like rectangular sections. Each of them is lined with.
Is there a table?
Felt. He's going to put it down on a table. Each of them are lined with felt, and there's 2 or 3 cut gemstones in each one.
Obviously, being a gem person, I don't know. I'm going to test this person's knowledge of gems and obviously talk about various features about it. And while I may look like I've ran out of things to talk about, I just make small talk about, how's the market and whatever. And I was like, oh, this gem looks good.
So like you're picking up a gem and examining it. Do you have your little lens?
Yeah, I'd probably have it with me.
Okay. So like looking at it, and while you're looking at it, you're gonna just like make small talk kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd get an idea for what he's selling. I mean, I know as the company, I've been specifically selling any gems. Has he been selling anything of ours at all? Buying anything? That would also be on my mind, I guess.
None of these are gems that you recognize, so none of the ones that he brings out as samples are ones that he bought. And given the story, it seems very unlikely that he would have bought more gems when he was importing. He was planning to sell gems to, people here on Bral.
I'm not making any mention of that.
I understand. I'm telling you what you would know or be able to figure out, conclude from things. It just wouldn't make sense for him to buy gems that you've sold.
Yeah.
When he has gems on hand that he wants to sell. So they're fine quality. It's a number of different types of, like I said, precious and fancy stones. So most of them would be running retail 100 to 500 gold pieces each.
I tried to throw a bit of not an argument, about, I don't know, maybe it's worth a little bit less or a little bit more, like I'm an interested party, really getting into the nitty gritty of this, and obviously.
Give me a charisma check, please.
I got +3 on reaction as well.
Okay. All right. So he is he's keeping up with the conversation. He is obviously not like an expert on gems. It feels like he is reciting stuff that he has memorized about these specific products. So like if you were like, oh yeah, this is a really nice citrine you have here. How would you compare it to a topaz that he does not have? And he can't really answer a question like that, but he can tell you about the quality of these particular gems. So you would be able to conclude that this is not an expert on gems, but he has been told, here's what to tell people asking about it.
All right. Do you have your own gem person, or are these all just imported?
Oh, these are all imported. We are trying to sell them off wholesale. If you are interested, we can definitely give you a good price for them.
Wholesale? Have you been struggling for selling stuff like this or anything?
Oh no, we only deal wholesale. And like looking around the place, that's everything that is here. It is all things that, merchants would purchase to then turn it into finished goods.
That's what I'm coming over as anyway.
So he does have some uncut stones as well. Of similar types.
I've got an idea of a price as well.
Yeah. So he is asking about 80% value for all of the cut stones, and a very standard 10% value of what you think you could get out of it when you cut it for the uncut stones.
I am. Obviously, this is sold as a unit. Obviously,
you would be you would not be purchasing a single gem, but you would be purchasing lots of similar sized materials. Like you would be saying, yes, I will buy your entire lot, or I will buy a half lot of amethysts, kind of thing.
All right.
And he has enough that any purchase would be multiple thousands of gold pieces.
No, that's fine. All right. I'm just trying to think. Yeah. I would need to speak with my client that I'm on retainer for, that he wants a request fulfilled. Would it be alright if I were to bring him around at some point?
Of
Do you
course.
open most days?
Oh, of course. We will still be open for a few more hours yet.
Okay, not sure if I'll be around today. Maybe I'll be around later today. Might be tomorrow. I'd have to see if he's free. But yes, this looks quite promising. The stock you have. I'd potentially be quite interested. Obviously, I thank him for his time, and I guess leave and find Finn
Okay.
somewhere.
So Leva, you have been walking around the exterior and you have not detected any scrying.
Okay.
So the three of you can meet up, like down a nearby alley or a not nearby alley that you would have decided on, to talk about things and make further plans. So what are you guys thinking?
Well,
Sorry,
has Finn actually done his part?
No, I'm gonna do it with him.
Well, Finn and Lafdul haven't gone into the place together. This is the to decide how they want to go.
This is to meet up and discuss. So yeah, I obviously relay what I had learnt so far. Obviously, he has gems. It looks like he is trying to sell things maybe a little bit cheaper. Obviously, there's not much market for it if we've been destroying the market. He does have some jade that I could potentially say that if this was a material you wanted to sample. He has amethysts and stuff. I don't know what. He could at least have an idea of what you may want. Or at least pretend.
Does he look like his business is suffering?
This was an associate, wasn't it? I believe. Yeah, I'd indicate this was an associate, not the actual owner.
Okay.
You know, like a frontman or whatever. There was a guard at the door. You know, standard business practice. You don't want to show someone gems if someone could just run off them.
But they didn't look desperate.
They were interested, I believe, my convincing cover story, so...
Yeah, okay, but that's not desperate. That's not desperation.
I mean, Lafdul also didn't try to haggle. Because...
Okay.
No, I was trying to... No, I was trying to see if I could go up and down on the price range.
Well, no, and right, sorry. Yeah, like you definitely could tell that they were open to negotiating the specific price. Sorry, I should have said that. But Lafdul was again just more feeling them out to see if they were, because obviously, like the story he's telling is that he's not prepared to purchase just yet, anyway. So.
Yeah, and I would have also conveyed this. I would be bringing my clients in that who may be purchasing it I would also maybe be purchasing some for myself for another client potentially.
You see, if somebody is desperate, they will try and push their wares on you and push down the pricing and everything. So you get the feeling they're desperate. They need to sell their stuff.
Yeah, that hasn't been conveyed that strongly at the moment. I don't think they're that financially ruined, or at least they're not putting themselves across like that. But I've only had like an hour in there, I suppose.
Probably not even that.
Because my polymorph stuff lasts like 3 hours, so.
Yeah. Finn, what do you feel?
Well, you said they had the jade, so we're gonna. I think maybe we'll go in saying that you told me about the jade, and I wanted to come have a look at it.
Yeah, and they got gems as well. Well, I mean, it's a common practice to put, fancy eyes as gemstones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a particular kind of coloration you like. I don't think amethyst works well with jade. It's like green and purple.
Okay, so Leva, do you want to just kind of watch surreptitiously from down the street, kind of thing?
I'll cast telepathy on her so she can communicate with me.
Okay.
For half an hour. Well, 28 minutes.
Or she can. Did she cover the whole of the market?
You just walked around the... I thought you were just walking around the outside of the building.
Yes. Well, I said she wouldn't move around, so she could cover a lot of area.
I mean, you could definitely be, like, have walked around more than just that building, absolutely. I just thought you were only walking around the exterior of that building.
Okay, that was a misunderstanding. Because this detect the scrying is detection is only 120 feet radius. She wants to move around so she can feel if she walks into something that that would try and scry her.
Is it specifically on you or within the area of effect?
No, specifically on me. It moves with me.
Sorry, yeah, so if someone was scrying on me off Finn, then it wouldn't do anything. Well, one I'm wearing now, it might work on Finn now.
Yeah, you didn't detect anything.
Okay.
All right, so, and that spell would have expired about the time that you met up with everyone else, I think.
All right.
I've
so...
got 2 telepathies. I will cast on both of them.
Okay.
I'd say I do have a mind read. I could try and read his mind, but obviously it's going to make this mentally quite overloading for me if I try to read his mind and communicate with me. So obviously wait until I speak to you.
You would not really be able to cast it inside there, so you'd need to cast it.
No, it would be cast out and it would not last very long. Mind read anyway, because that's only around a level. That's like 9 minutes, whereas telepathy is like half an hour.
So if they go back, Finn and Lafdul go back, I think she would go on to Luigi's.
Okay.
Well, if I cast a spell, it doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you're in the same dimension, then I can still talk to you mentally for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you could just use it as an emergency of like, hey, we're under attack, get over here, or something like that. So,
yeah.
Like, yes. if that's kind of what you want to do.
That's telepathy duration.
All right.
And mind read is, literally around a level. So I will probably get like 4 minutes worth of it by the time we're in, or something.
Okay, so, Lafdul and Finn, you return to the building. And Vran is still there. Vran is still there, and he welcomes you back in. Ah, welcome back. I see you brought your client, I assume.
Yeah, and I have mind read up. Does he recognize him?
Any
he
does
kind
not.
Of thoughts on that?
No.
All right, good. I will convey that to Finn. He doesn't seem to at least initially
does he get a saving throw?
Recognize you,
or are you just getting surface thoughts?
They only ever get a saving throw against mind read if they're aware of any kind of mental intrusion.
Okay. And you're just getting surface thoughts, right?
No, I can probe deeper. Which I
think but don't they know if you're probing?
Surface thoughts in range. The priest is able to probe deeper into the mind of a single creature. No, it doesn't say anything about saving throw. Only thing it says about saving throw, if it's used as part of an interrogation, intelligent and wary subject receives a -2 to a saving throw. It doesn't say anything, even if I am deep.
Okay, I think probing deeper would be something that would not be, like, you can't do that casually.
I know it says on the wizard spells that it would give a saving throw.
Right, but like, you would need to, like, focus on the person and concentrate on them. Like, your brow would be furrowed. You wouldn't really be able to uphold a conversation, like, because you're digging into their brain. Even if they don't get a saving throw kind of thing, it would be kind of obvious that you're doing something.
Well, I'd obviously wait for Finn to just talk to him for a couple of minutes. I'll see if I can figure something out about him.
But you do have a guard watching you.
I can block my line of sight and make sure that he's on the other side of me or not.
I think that it would still be obvious that something is going on.
Raises his eyebrows to the DM.
Because like the basic spell is getting surface thoughts. If you're probing deeper, like that is an. If the spell said that you could always probe deeper and you're always probing deeper and it's a passive thing, sure. But otherwise, like the fact that you can probe deeper makes me think that this is something that requires extra effort on your part, and it is something that maybe they don't know. I mean, they're not necessarily going to know what's going on, but it would be suspicious. You would look suspicious.
I won't. I mean, the only thing it would give me is a character class. They don't actually guess anything. It doesn't say.
But you probe deeper. You get deeper thoughts than surface thoughts.
Like, you'd have to explain the difference.
So, deeper, like, surface thoughts are just what's popping into his head right then and there. Deeper thoughts are going to be more about what they're trying not to think about. What's really deep down. You're really getting into things in their head that are not just what they're thinking about.
Oh, actually, it is a thought. Funny enough, pun. Does a guard recognize Finn?
Not as far as you know.
So that does require a prying. It just says about being in range. It doesn't say that you have to look at the person. Because I've done this outside of a building before.
But I don't think you've probed deep into their mind.
I couldn't remember. It was too long ago if it was.
Like, you get surface thoughts. That is passive. That is something that you're perfectly fine, you know, like you can get without trouble, without being suspicious. You get the surface thoughts.
Like how much of a concentrated or scrunched up face am I having here that I'm going to put on display?
I mean, it would be obvious that something is going on. You would not be acting normal. It would be suspicious. That's what I'm giving. Like,
even if it was Finn that was talking.
Yeah.
At the time. Oh.
Because you'd be like staring at the person, concentrating.
Alright, I don't want to give up our game, so I'll just stick with the surface thoughts for now.
You're probably also not blinking that much.
Right. Like, it looks weird. You would look weird, is what I'm getting at. Alright, so, alright, so you enter, and, you've introduced Finn. You're introducing Finn as Finn? Is that what you guys wanted?
We would have discussed this outside.
Yeah.
Would we say, do you want to introduce yourself as you? I mean, the idea is to see if they recognize you.
I mean, you can also just not introduce yourself and say, "Here's my client," and then Finn, you could just like dive right into what you're interested in, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go there.
All right.
Wait, being introduced or just diving right into the conversation?
No,
just diving right into the conversation.
Yeah, diving in.
Okay. All right, so Finn, what do you want to say?
Well, first off, one thing I want to kind of retcon before walking in, I would have cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just to see if there's anything strange.
All right. You are not detecting any magic.
Lafdul glows up like a Christmas light.
Other than Lafdul.
Just everything is magical about him.
Hey Lafdul, can you turn down your magic a little bit? You're drowning out the other things I'm looking for.
Blinded by the Lafdul.
But they're so fancy. I like fancy things.
And would I know of any animals that might have greenish fur?
Ooh.
There's something in my, like, at the very tip of my head, yeah?
They got a teal color. It's not necessarily green, but this depends on the jail. The elven dogs or the blink dogs have got like a teeny tealy green fur, if I remember correctly.
Kushi?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they
they've
might.
got like a
I do not recall one way or the other. I don't recall what I've read about their coloration at all. But at the same time, like, you know, there's a lot of things carved out of jade that, you know, they're not trying to match the colors either.
True.
Yeah, Kushi has a thick greenish coat.
So yeah, there's that. They're not exactly
With-
natural animals though, and
often
there's
spotted with brown spotches.
I think there's a it's Banderlog or Losel or something like that. It's a type of ape, maybe crossed with a orc that I think has greenish fur too. But that's again not exactly.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it simple then, and I'll talk about wanting a statue of a cat.
Okay. So he says, "Ah, yes, and you were looking at the jade. Let me show it to you." So he shows you the selections of jade he has. Lafdul, you're picking up the thoughts of like he's definitely hoping to make a sale. He's thinking about the potential commission. Can't let them think that we really want to get rid of this stuff.
All right, I convey that to Finn, that they do seem desperate, and I also convey it to Lever. Or at least on this part.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's showing it to you. He's talking about the quality of it, which Lafdul, again with the mind read, you can tell that he is basically reciting stuff that he has memorized, but he's also not wrong about it. Like he's not upselling lower quality stuff.
It seems on the board. Yeah. I mean, if you genuinely want me to carve you a statue, I'm more than willing to. I just need the time.
And I'm perfectly fine with you guys, like, extending it out a little bit by asking normal questions that you would ask and getting his answers and things like that. But is there anything else that you want to ask to specifically try to get him to think about anything or anything like that?
Lafdul, or I wouldn't say Lafdul, I'd say whatever you're... Rinnathal.
Yeah, Rinnathal.
You mentioned something about gems for the eyes as well.
Yeah, he had some amethyst purple gems.
I don't think purple would look very good against this, though.
No.
So he had a lot of other types as well, and he will pipe up at that point and allow me to get the sample case. I will be right back.
Okay.
So he goes in the back. Lafdul, you've been picking up some surface thoughts from the guard, but it's basically along the lines of like just kind of I wonder if they're actually here to buy. Are they suspicious? Do they, like the kind of thing that you might think if you were a guard watching.
Guard.
Yeah. You're not noticing anything unusual. You
Oh,
don't think
also...
either of them have recognized
Finn. Mind read has a range of 5 yards a level, so 45 yards, 150, 145 foot. Or some 140. Is there anyone else in this building?
You're pretty sure there's some guards in the warehouse section as well. You're not sure if there's anyone else.
I don't think obviously I would know where from. I just know that they're within the proximity.
Yeah.
So I clock an idea for numbers and I try to relay that.
There's at least 3 guards.
All right.
So he comes back out with the sample case. He has uncarved amethysts, uncarved citrines, a lot of other carved stone as already cut stone as well. And he'll go through them all and tell you about their their perks and saying purple wouldn't look very good, and he'd be like, well, what about this fine yellow-orange citrine here? and stuff like that. You won't find finer quality without going to a dwarven citadel itself, kind of thing.
We've seen a couple of dwarven citadels in a time, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one by your asteroid right now. Not inhabited by dwarves, but...
I'll ask him to hold various gems against various pieces of jade.
He will be more than happy to do so. He will like give some indication that if you wish to maybe have multiple statues carved, they could cut you a deal on purchasing more than you'd been indicating that you were planning to.
How much of a discount? Or a deal? Well, I guess that's still
starts off by saying like 5% off for.
How much of this jade is there? There's still some jade on the ship we haven't carved yet. It's like £3 of it.
I mean, it would make a hand-sized statue, kind of thing, something that would fit in your hand. These pieces.
It could also be an investment in something that sells for more as well. I mean, I know you're not into making money, but is this something you want to buy, or are we still going with the cover story? I'm saying mentally.
Let's string them out a little bit longer. Tell him we'll be coming back. We wanted to look at a couple other places first.
Okay.
All right, then I'll tell him. Obviously, I've been selling gems around town, so I know where places to sell gems are at. So I'll say we're going to another store. I say to my companion that I'm with, I won't say a name, there's some other stores that I know of that I could show you around if this is not to your fancy, and try to put a bit of panic and pressure on this guy. Sell him.
So he will respond, like you'd mentioned some other merchant houses, and he'd
that I have sold to, so they'd be verified places.
And he would respond, you are not going to be able to get a price like this for this quality jade from any of them. I guarantee it.
I assume my mind reads ran out at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, I'll tell obviously Finn that my mind reads run out. I mean, if we don't find anything elsewhere, we'll come back. I mean, you might have sold out, but that's the nature of business, competition.
It's in high demand, so we might not be able to keep it on hand, but you are more than welcome to come back.
We are interested.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, you're indicating interest, but he is trying to sell it to you now, like trying to convince you that this is.
I mean, if I genuinely get a good deal, I may end up buying it.
I mean, like you haven't actually started negotiation, kind of thing. Like he is really gonna want you to be almost assured to be buying it before he's gonna start like doing anything else. But
I'll convey that I'm being really picky about the specific colors, and yeah, these all look great, but they're not quite what I'm looking for, kind of thing.
Well, this is the highest quality carvable jade that you'll find on Bral today. I can assure you that my competitors will not have anything of a finer hue than this.
I tried to find out some imperfections in the jade. Tried to using my skill and expertise, I tried to downsell some flaw.
All right, what's your gem cutting score?
Both. Gem cutting, 16. But I also have duelist and stone carving, which are both 18s. And they have appraisal 14.
Okay, so you are able to point out a few flaws, and he will say, "Ah, yes, it is impossible to get perfectly flawless stone anywhere. There's always going to be some imperfections, but that is also what gives it the unique quality. And if the particular flaw, like this one right here, if you're talking about a cat, you can surely carve around it, have the head over on this side and the tail over here, and you don't need that piece, and it will not have any effect."
Sure, if you were selling someone with a carved statue, but if you know the flaws there, it's kind of like you know it's there. You want something that will stand the test of time. You don't want to invest so much into a flawed piece or.
Well, none of the pieces are flawed in such a way that it would like make it harder to make the piece.
No,
Sometimes
but
it's like a little crack, but again, he is right that depending on how you carve it, you can carve a lot of these flaws away. And some of the other flaws that you're pointing out actually could make, maybe not if you were doing a cat, but if you were doing something else, it would give it a nice like stripe down the back or something like that. And he's pointing these things out, and they're fair arguments. Not necessarily arguments that would win, but they're fair arguments. Like, he's not making things up.
I'll at least try to. I get an idea of a price, because this is actually genuine research for Lafdul. Lafdul needs to know what statues sell for, so you might as well get an idea for base price of jade and stuff.
I would actually have to go look up the.
All right, yeah. Well, we figured it out, and should we come back? I guess.
I mean, you could say that you'll come back and not come back. It's like, but you can absolutely like indicate that you're done for now and you're keeping it in mind. But you wanna shop around.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to shop around, unless you think otherwise. I say to Finn and Ebha, one after the other.
Levin's not here though.
I think we're
meant telepathy's up.
Okay.
With her.
Sorry, Finn.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're good at this point.
Okay. All right. So you two leave. Are you going to make your way back to the rest of the party? Or was there something else?
Should we just go to the market and at least tend to look around in case we are being tailed?
Okay, I'll follow you around for a little while then.
Okay. All right. So you're just trying to like lose anyone who might be following you and give a good appearance of like checking other things, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you would have gone to some of these stores as well, and I could, verify their claims, being an expert in the field.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just trying to give a mix of looking like you're actually browsing for things while also trying to lose anyone who might be following. Correct? That's the kind of goal that you got.
Both.
Okay. All right. Leva, you make your way over to the Laughing Beholder.
Yes.
Okay.
And as usual, she goes and talks to Luigi.
As Leva, or as your new hat disguise that you've still borrowed off me?
As Leva.
Okay.
Welcome back, Leva. What can I get you?
Well, I'd have something to drink first. I need to recover a little bit,
Okay.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that that somebody is going to court against us?
I pick things up through the grapevine.
Tell me, what do you know about? Just a moment. What's his name?
Braudel Falderic.
Braudel Falderic. He's complaining that we drove him to bankruptcy almost.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about that in particular. I've heard some things about him, but I don't know much about him other than him being a merchant.
That's what we thought. We never had any dealings with him. So all of a sudden he comes in and accuses us of destroying his business.
Well, you
Give
know,
me
it's
something
always
else.
possible that someone who is on the sidelines that you don't really interact with can be affected by the things that you do. It
Yes,
happens.
well, it does, it does, it does. But you don't know anything in particular about this guy, do you?
Not really, no. He has not really crossed my radar. Wait, no, he wouldn't say radar. He hasn't really crossed my eyes sight.
By 360 vision.
So he's using his
But
telekinesis eye to wipe up a spill on the bar from another customer who has been carried out by one of the bouncers being very drunk.
So she gets another drink and she says, you know, you have quite a popular place here.
I know it's
Wouldn't
great. I get to hear many things. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
not what you're looking for.
Wouldn't somebody whose business is about to be destroyed end up here and drink to you and tell you his problems and his sorrows and everything and cry in your not in your lap but cry in your arms?
Well, considering I don't have arms and I don't know this fellow, I can't say that that is something that he would do.
So
I mean,
would you let me know?
everyone deals with the events in their own way, you know.
Yes, correct. So Levers takes out a gold piece and gives it to Luigi and says, "If you hear anything, would you let me know?"
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Oh dear. She throws him an air kiss. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And then she leaves.
All right.
At least you didn't try to pinch his cheek.
I mean, you could have
No,
tried.
I wouldn't know. I
Oh,
wouldn't
you
know
might-
where.
Oh yeah,
You
he's got
might
big cheeks. He's got big cheeks.
You might pinch a nerve, that might set off a death ray.
She does, however, trust the what would you call it in German? You'd call it a bush telephone. That he'd actually figure out stuff. He'd go and try and find out one or two things.
I mean, he might be able to, and he might send some information your way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would probably kind of wrap up your day. You guys would come back together to chat. What are you guys thinking? I mean, you've got most of a week left now with this day that ends.
I think we just need to find out more about this person and collect as much as possible character evidence for our side until we actually hear the accusations.
All right. Well, you have two known barristers that you could go for. You could still look for others. You could see if anyone else has any recommendations. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, you don't need to like actually hire them until closer to the date if you want or something like that. So it's up to you.
I assume after me and Finn get back to the party, would it be a while before the rest of the party would have gathered up for the day, or because depending on how much time it would have been, I would have tried and gone back to the Thieves Guild and obviously filled them in with what I learned from my end and our potential lawyers that we might be going to or barristers.
I mean, you could split with Finn and go do that. Just say, hey, I got an errand to run. I'll meet you back there, Finn, or something like that, and then go do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Then.
Well, actually, you wouldn't have learned about Galver at that point.
Who's Galva?
Galver is the one that Ockar
Archers.
was told about.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I probably it would have been like before going to bed, like the
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, that's
Actually, no,
fine.
Samaria would have gone to bed though, wouldn't she? I could leave a note though.
About
I tell you guys about Galver and how I think that he'd be a good choice for it, but that's mainly because we follow the same god, and I think that he'd do a very good job at it.
Question to Ockar. What does your god say about honesty and stuff like that?
Well, I know that I had to be particularly honest, and I believe that he prefers honesty.
Yeah, so
But he's
That would
also
be-
a
that
war
would be
god.
quite
But
special.
he's also a war god, so he is okay with like certain tactics that might need deception.
there's
battle?
Well, a lawyer who follows your god, would they be more likely to be honest?
Most likely, yes.
so
okay.
so first
Then
of
I'd be
all,
in favor.
so first of all, like Ockar would definitely feel that this barrister's honesty would be assured by the fact that he follows Tyr. Whether that's the case or not is obviously up in the air. But yeah, Ockar, I think you would definitely feel that way because this is a guy who follows your god, and like
I got a personal recommendation from the head of the Church of Tyr.
Tyr is fine with deception in certain circumstances, like because again, all of the Norse gods lied to Fenrir
Including
about the fetter that actually holds him, but Tyr put his hand in Fenrir's mouth, knowing that when the deception came to light, he was going to lose his hand, and he did that completely willingly. So like it's a deception for the greater good, and accept the consequences with honor and go open-eyed, go into the consequences kind of thing is how he would see it.
Well, Solas says that while he is not follower of Norse pantheon himself, he has come to regard the Church of the Tyr and his followers as honorable people. So he would be willing to trust this lawyer.
But you also don't know how good this lawyer actually is, so just FYI.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we don't know how good he is, but at least we know he's honorable and most likely won't be bribed.
What's
How
his
much does it
rate?
cost? Yeah, exactly.
40 gold pieces per hour.
Oh,
But we were told the more expensive the poorer, the better they are.
Certainly,
Yeah,
the more
but then-
expensive they are, the better their reputation is.
I think this
Well,
guy might
reputation
try
is a lot.
harder because there's a bit of a personal conviction to try harder for a friend. But
Yeah,
it does come across slightly biased.
Also do remember that the head priest of the Church of Tyr did say that this lawyer in question has done. I don't remember if it was exactly pro bono, but has done good for the lesser folk.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's usually the kind of lawyer you go to when you're not too rich or too wealthy and you need a good defender.
Mhm. Well, we're going to have to go with someone because if we leave it till the end of the week, they'll have less time to prepare.
Well,
So if people want to still check out lawyers, that's fine. But if that's the case, we need to be checking them out.
well, I'll say my vote here. My vote is for Culver
How about this?
because I have faith in his ability.
Well, his ability needs to be put to the test. So, What about an hour consultation on him, an hour consultation on the next most expensive guy, and just compare how they would approach the case? You know, give them an example rundown.
Why
It would
only
be
the
like
one? Why not? Why not the?
we're not using up all our money, ideally.
Yeah,
Well-
but if it's, I mean, we don't know how much the whole thing would cost us, can cost us. So it might be worth looking at different lawyers, not just two.
What, collaborative from 2 different law firms, if that's even allowed.
I
Well-
think you mean shopping
No.
around, right?
Yes.
Leva? Okay.
Yes, exactly. I mean, let's go to the one that costs 90 and have a look whether that one would treat it differently. If we're going to compare, then let's compare the one for 40 with the one that costs 90 for the hour, and have a look whether they would do things differently.
Wasn't that kind of what Lafdul said? Get an hour consultation from each and see what you feel.
But he want. But
I
Lafdul
understood
wanted to-
that one higher up, so it would have been like 40 and 50,
Yeah.
which is definitely not what labor means. I mean,
No,
40 and 90.
That's
I-
well, I may have misspoke then in that case, but my intention was the 90 and the 40 or whatever Monarchos was.
Okay.
The two that you know of right
Alright.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comparing him to the second best that we can get. Because obviously we can't get the best because they already brought up with the opposing
Mhm.
team.
That sounds good to me. We could.
Yeah.
Ask
See
about
how
it with them
they
both.
would go about the argument.
Okay. All right. So everyone in agreement to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are we paying that from the company funds, or because
Yeah.
otherwise labor would donate the money for both?
This is a company thing.
Yeah.
It affects us
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. If someone could just get me what we've spent in total on that.
It
I
would
think
be.
we did 100 so far, and then we're going to pay like another 19 and
And
was it
40.
50 or
And then
It
40?
would- well, to do all the consultations we've done, that would be like 230 so far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've only done the 100. We've only then you asked.
Yeah, but you
the
can
90.
if everyone's in agreement, you can just
Yeah.
deduct the whole amount now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so it's 230.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before going to sleep that night, Lafdul, you wanted to head to the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, I assume Samara wouldn't be there this late.
No, but there's some other thieves if you want to have general questions. If you like, what information are you looking for right now?
Well, it's to leave a note for Samara because she's the one who's going to potentially be informing the our guildmaster of the whether or not they think they should move based on the fact that I'm a thief. It's acting against their interests. Obviously, if something happens to me because I'm a guild member. So I'm trying to tell them our angle, what we're doing so far, because the fact that we may be going down a jury route rather than a sabbatical. No, what was that term?
Concilium.
It's concilium.
So I mean, like, they don't necessarily need a running, like, here's your strategy, here's what you're doing, that kind of thing. Just so long as you are, and there's gonna be some people watching it, kind of, from a distance and unseen to make sure that things go okay. But they're not like it. It was more of a warning to you to make sure that you don't, that they don't come into it. But you don't need to give them a running, like breakdown of how things are going unless you want to. Does that make sense?
I don't mind telling them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they might be able to give me advice because it's in their, well, I'm not saying it is in their interest. I mean, it is to an extent. I've done nothing to damage the guild per se. I've always acted in their interests. So
I mean-
I hope the favor will be returned to an extent.
Like, if you lose the case and you have to give up your personal wealth kind of thing, you know, the company gives up their personal wealth, then that's very much no sweat off the Thieves Guild's back.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. They don't care as long as it doesn't come to light that you're a member of the Thieves Guild and blah blah blah.
Alright.
So as long as you're keeping them out of it, then
Yeah, I'm
whatever
keeping them out.
happens,
I'm
they
just
don't care.
saying, all right, I'll try it from a different approach. I'm saying, do they have any advice based on the information that I'm giving them? That's like, or at least I'm going to write in a note.
All right, yeah, that's fine. Do you want to like? There's always some other members of the Thieves Guild around. Do you have any like inquiries that you want to ask them about? See if they know anything or anything like that.
My mind's just blank at the moment.
That's it's fine. You don't have to. You can head back and leave the note for Samara and head back.
Yeah.
All right, that's perfectly
No.
fine.
I mean, I think that was.
I mean, when I give you an opportunity to ask questions, you don't always have to ask questions. It's perfectly fine to not have any questions to ask. I just want to like I'm doing it to give you the opportunity to ask questions if you want. That's all. So it's perfectly fine if you don't. You know, and you got most of the week, so if things come up later.
Obviously write in a letter about who our opposing law firm is in the note.
Okay.
And if they know anything about that law firm. I mean,
Alright.
I know they're going to avoid it, but, you know, anything might help.
Yeah, I mean, and they will definitely know things about that law firm and stuff like that. Okay, so you guys get a good night's sleep, and so the next morning, yeah.
I would have conferred to Solas before we sleep. Maybe I'm just being a bit paranoid, but I am going to prepare some blessed watchfulnesses for the party. Could you help out with that so we cover the party?
Well, I guess
Oh.
if you are want someone to stay awake.
Well, no, it's during the waking hours after we did the spell memorization.
Yeah, but the blessed watchfulness it keeps people awake.
Yeah, that's why it's done after we get spell memorization.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll stay up a little bit later, but it won't be too bad. Maybe a couple hours over normal sleep schedule. It's 4 hours plus an hour level, so actually that's 15 hours in memorizing. Lucky like 16 hours after you've woken up. If we can sleep. I could always dispel it. You can't AoE dispel a target. No. It's, I mean, I just get this nagging feeling like he's going to be gathering information on us to put more things forward. And I think that this spell would, by its nature, it would maybe give you a hint as to, you know, you might see something because you're more alert. You know, someone following you, someone stalking you.
Okay.
You don't have to have it. I mean, I'm just putting it on the table.
Are we all back together?
Yeah, this
is for the next day.
Before.
Well, mostly the blessed watchfulness helps against sleep and the spells that would lower your guard.
Yeah, but it says he's got exceptional powers of observation and alertness. There's like this hidden thing that happens in the background. You might notice someone following you.
I have a question for our spellcasters when you finish with this.
Yeah, you can
go. This document we got said that this guy was hit by a sword thrown by one of us.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that's what happened. Do we have a way to verify with magic what happened to that sword?
Yeah, that's what I discussed with Finn a few hours ago.
Okay. Speaking of, why don't we get that out of the way?
All right.
You have the spell memorized.
Finn could have memorized it this morning.
Yeah, for the next day.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize next day is changing my spells.
Finn also has something he wants to do today, so.
Okay.
And the sooner he leaves for it, the better. So he would like to do this now.
Okay. All right. So, all of you would probably be together for this, just because, like, it is of interest to all of you. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if
Alright,
anyone
I
doesn't
will
want to
take-
be there, that's perfectly fine. If they want to say that.
I'll be there.
All right. So, what exactly are you going to be trying to perceive? The event of the sword hitting the merchant?
Whoever.
The fate of that sword.
I don't think it necessarily hit the merchant. Might hit someone else, and he's just
Well,
heard.
keep in mind, it's pretty much going to be. I mean, we see what happened, but we can only see like one scene. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened to the sword when it was thrown? Literally, the event just before it impacted that area. So we're trying to witness that event before it happened.
Okay.
We know how it leads up to that point. We just don't know too much of the specifics.
And there's a chance of success?
yep, I'm looking for the spell now.
Okay.
Time pool. There it is. All right, so let's see. Base chance is 50%. I get plus 15% for my wisdom. And then it wasn't something I participated in, so that one doesn't count.
Correct.
Then it depends on if I count as well informed, slightly informed, or not informed.
I will say slightly informed, because it's long enough ago that you may not, like, you guys don't really, you know, like it's kind of a general story that you're sharing, and you want to verify that what the lawsuit essentially claims in its vague terms is what actually happened. So it's entirely, like, if he's lying, then you're not informed of the event. So I'm going with slightly informed.
Okay. Then I would have 70% all told.
Okay.
want
Let's
to-
see.
Do you want to use a reroll?
He does not have a reroll.
I don't have any rerolls.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you cast a spell on a pool of water, and you begin viewing a scene. Lafdul and I think Braxon was there too, chasing across, running across the roofs after a creature called a hummerfly, and the hummerfly is gaining distance on them, and you see Lafdul pull out a short sword of dwarven make, hurl it at the insect, and it just goes wide, and you see it pitch down over the edge of a building, hit a wall, ricocheting down, and the pommel just like slams into the head of someone, and the guy just drops to the ground. Is there any sound with this? Because you would see him cry out,
yes.
but you wouldn't necessarily hear it if there's
Yes,
no sound.
perfectly clear picture with normal sounds, as
Okay.
if the caster were present at the scene.
Okay. So you can hear him cry out. There's a crowd of people around. He collapses down, clutching a bleeding head, and he picks up the sword, which is now covered in, has his blood on the pommel, and is looking up at the sky, like, quite angry, cursing and looking around, and then, like, heads off. And based on the like, he was going in one direction, and he turns around, goes a different direction, and you realize that based on the street, which you recognize because there's a lot of other people on there, and you recognize the buildings, blah blah blah. He's going in the direction of the lower magistrate. And I think
Alright.
you guys did end up having to pay a fine or something for what happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
believe we did.
Yeah.
We
I
did.
believe so.
So now you have never seen this person before that you guys, any of you recall. There's no obvious.
There's a good viewing of him now, so now
Yeah.
we know what
Yeah.
he looks like. I also memorized the sword, what it looks like for a locate object.
Was it just Finn that saw this? Or
No, all of
was-
you are there, and you can all see it in the bowl of water or whatever he's
Okay.
using.
If you
Okay.
already paid fine for it, then that should have been end of that particular case.
No, that's a civil case. This is that was a case against the crime of disturbing the peace.
Right. You paid the fine for a criminal fine, essentially. This is now
Yeah.
a civil case. You can certainly argue in the civil case that you paid the fine, therefore you should not be held any further responsible. That is an argument that you can make.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was mostly wondering if someone else got hit by the sword,
Mhm.
and this guy wasn't the guy hit by the sword, and
mean-
he met someone who was hit by the sword and was trying to
Oh.
use that as a way, because we sold loads of gems.
Right.
He's
Until
trying
you
to use that as a way to manufacture a case.
until you meet Browdle,
Yeah.
none of you have met him. So you've seen this guy in the time pool spell. So
Yeah.
now if this is the same guy when you get to court, then you know that he is the one who got hit by the sword. If it is
Yeah.
someone else, then you know that there's something hinky going on.
Yeah.
Well, this actually plays into what Finn's plan was for the day, because after he's done with the spell, he's going to change into a bird, go fly to a building across the street from their entrance, and watch the building all day.
Okay.
Could I quickly ask a question about what Finn showed us?
Sure.
You said there was a crowd around the guy that got hit.
Mhm.
Braxon would have wanted to have tried to study the faces of the people around the guy that got hit, in case this guy wasn't the person, but the person who is the gem dealer is one of the people that
Right.
saw it.
So, you can do that as best as you can.
Yeah.
But what you're looking at is a busy street.
Yeah.
And people walking and walking past each other and talking to each other and stuff like that. So, you can absolutely try to do that. I'm not, just giving you a feel for what this is. This isn't like a group of people all standing there talking to each other and he gets hit. He was clearly walking down the street when this thing came down and hit him in the head.
Okay.
So, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at.
No, that's cool.
Mhm.
That means if this guy isn't the guy,
Nope.
then Braxon may or may not recognize him from one of the people that was nearby.
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Finn, what level spell was Time Pool?
That is a 5th level spell.
Okay. Okay, before Finn goes off to watch, anyone have any other questions, any other details that you might want to try to elicit out of what you're seeing? Because I'm assuming that you're all there looking at it, since no one said otherwise.
I'd be interested. I think it's reasonable that sort of be at the law firm's place, considering it would be used. It's going to be used as evidence, as it were.
Okay.
That's like the typical custodian, who, when you give something in evidence, it's typically held at a law place first or something, or would it be held at the magistrate place?
So
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Logically, not
Ockar,
necessarily knowing for certain.
So you discuss this a little bit. Ockar, give me a local history check.
Okay. Let me just pull up that proficiency. I believe it's a 17, yeah. Yeah, because it's based on my charisma.
And that's what you needed to get before.
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, so Ockar's not sure whether that is accurate or not, and no one else is. That's a perfectly reasonable conclusion you can draw, though. Like, I'm
Out of
not sure.
curiosity,
Yeah.
what are the laws about lost property?
Extraordinarily loose. If
Because this
you,
was once a pirate port.
it's also very, very much there's an element of finders keepers. Obviously, like if you find something and you go to the magistrate and you say, "Hey, I found this lost item. I think it should be returned to the owner." You guys would all be aware that they would make a cursory attempt, usually in the form of hold on to it for X amount of time in case the person comes in and says, "Hey, I lost thing. Did you get it?" And then if no one does within a few weeks, then either the magistrate takes possession of it or it goes to the crown.
Or the guard just straight up takes it from you, like what happened with that first bag of holding we found.
Well, so that wasn't a lost item, that was a confiscated item.
True.
But
When
like
they realised
if
what
you
it
found a
was.
bag of holding sitting on the street and you went to the magistrate and said, "Hey, I found this," they would hold on to it for a period of time that they consider reasonable, which is shorter for the low magistrate, a little bit longer for the middle magistrate, and a little bit longer for the high magistrate, before disposing of it in some legalistic fashion. Now, they're also known for those items disappearing as you know, like a member of the watch or someone else of importance catches wind and is like, "Hey, you know, I lost that item. Yeah, wink, here's 50 gold," kind of thing, depending on what the item is. So there's a lot of things that end up not going to the proper owner based on bribery.
It's hilariously corrupt.
Yeah. You can get almost anything you want with bribes on Brawl.
Money talks.
I'm sorry?
Money talks.
Yes. Now, I mean, like, legally speaking, they are supposed to hold on to it for a certain amount of time. That is not detailed in the law, in case someone does come in to
Claim it.
claim it, report it missing. But it is also built into the law that if no one claims it within a reasonable period of time, it is becomes possession of the magistrate in question or the crown, depending on the value of the item and the determination of the magistrate in question.
And
Okay,
then perhaps sold to the public.
And it might absolutely be things that are confiscated
public.
sometimes are auctioned off.
Yeah. For example, if they confiscate some goods that have been smuggled in, and the
Right.
person who smuggled them doesn't have money to pay.
Yeah.
Would there be a record of somebody bringing a sword in and then being given it back if we wanted to check?
Maybe, but those records tend to be like they're notoriously incomplete. So you could absolutely check.
Yeah.
And that might be something that the barrister checks for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if that's
Well-
something that you want to ask of them, definitely write that down as something that you want them to do. And when you actually hire them, then you can request that of them. All right, so everyone good with that discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. No one else says anything. All right, so Finn, you turn into a bird and fly over to House Falderic to watch the entrance. You're now like specifically watching for the person you saw in the time pool, correct?
That and just keeping a general kind of count on how many people go in and out every day
Okay.
or through the day.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you'll report back to the rest of the party what you saw?
Yep.
Okay.
What did you go as? What kind of bird?
Probably something fairly nondescript, like a sparrow or something.
Alright, so you're gonna get picked on by gulls or something.
You would have to
get too.
Go ahead.
If they get too annoying, cats are pretty good at watching things too.
So you're not likely to stay in one form forever.
Right.
So you would periodically be stalked by like a cat or caught at by some of the various gullions or other types of birds that might be annoyed at you. Nothing you can't handle though, and you can either change forms to take care of it and watch in another form, or whatever. But it's just more of a flavor of what you have to deal with. It's not just sitting there stationary the whole time.
Yep.
All right. So what do the rest of you want to do on this new day?
I
Solas would,
think
Ockar first.
I'll take care of some business regarding the magic weapon, something I wanted to try to get one of the materials. I'm going to go and meet my grandfather and see if he has any armor from his adventuring days when he was an active paladin. So I need to get armor from a holy warrior.
Okay. Okay. Solas, what about you?
Solas would go and ask if basically Solas would also tell about this to the whole company, that he is going to ask Elven Imperial Navy for the be one of the potential character witnesses, or send representative as a character witness.
Okay. Leva?
Leva is between two things. On one hand, she did want to go and ask Luigi the same thing as Solas does, but on the other hand, she'd like to go with Ockar to look at that piece of armor.
Well, the armor
Just-
would definitely not take the whole day, so you can do that first and then go visit Luigi. I mean, Ockar and his grandfather might want to catch up, and you wouldn't necessarily need to be there for that either. So.
Yeah.
That's correct. She only wants a quick look at the armor because she's doing. No, she's not the one. We have to do this together in some ways, don't we?
Yes and no. You need to be in charge of like the enchanting, but if he procures the materials and gives them to you, as long as they're the proper materials, that's perfectly fine, kind of thing.
So, but it would be in her interest to have a quick look to say, yes, that's proper material.
If you feel so, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Are you okay with that, Ockar?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so that would just be a quick look saying, yeah, that's fine if if the grandfather agrees. But if he does, then she'd have a quick look, say, yes, that's fine. And then she'd go on to Luigi because she likes him.
Okay.
And she wants to know whether her question from yesterday had any results.
Right. Okay. Braxon, how about you?
I'm looking through my notes to see who we can ask to be character witnesses.
Well, if you want to say right now that, I mean, because we're closing in on the end of the session anyway, so if you want to say that your goal is to ask around people for character witnesses, then you can do that, and then next week we can decide on who you once you've looked through your notes and the rest of you have talked and stuff.
This guy basically has been accusing us of continually trying to destroy his business. We don't know exactly what he means by that. I suppose when did we get Higamis's office? Oh, the lady from Higamis's office will have notes of when the communication spells we use with her. So we'll ask her to make a statement of when we were not in Bral space.
Okay.
Could we ask Higimus himself?
He's not here.
It would you could send a message to him, either magically or through normal messengers. But yeah, I mean, he's in another sphere.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
I would be happy to send a message to him, yes.
Yeah, what I was basically getting at is I want to be able to get maybe when we got the lawyer, maybe the legal statement's made in front of the lawyer, a legal statement that we were not on the Rock of Bral for certain dates. So if any of those allegations, and we'll let the guy make the allegations first, if any of the allegations are on a period where we can prove we're not on Bral, then those allegations will, bounce off of us.
Okay. All right, and then just like talking to other people, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because some of the things we've done is kind of secret. Like, I'd love to go to the dwarves to see what they can do to help us, but that was on a,
I mean, you can still go talk to them and see where the lines are and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. I think Braxon will go talk to Ark and Nobledrak on the lowdown.
Okay. And how about you, Lafdul?
Seeing if Samara has any advice. If not, that's one thing I'd be doing. I would be trying to measure up in a polymorphed form. Hang on, let me just check locate object. I want to see if I can, if I need to have my holy symbol out for locate object. It just says you face in that direction once you locate it.
I mean, if you cast a spell and then polymorph, I think you can do that.
Yeah, because the spell would be active. So basically, I want to take a flying fast form. I'll start off at the warehouse.
Like, the speed doesn't actually matter that much because, like, you can't like scan a vast area. It's like,
does it count though?
Well, I think it's a path, and you if you want to get a 360 view, you can try that, but it's like, you can't just like scan a whole bunch of area super fast by taking a fast form, because you still have to like focus and concentrate, but you can be in another form and do that.
Yeah, there was obviously the two locations that I was going to try out that at least is reasonable.
Yeah.
One would be the High Magister place. Actually, where is the High Magister place?
That
may be located.
Is give me a second.
Is it like a fancy separate building, big, has a garden or whatever?
The High Magistrate is 14, which I believe is where is it? Right here.
Oh, that's actually relatively close by to the legal office. I could just go between the two areas, I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, you can figure that out.
See if it's in either or of those two locations.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything. I just want to know if it was
right
there or not. So.
Nope. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm just making notes.
Oh, I just saw something. Who's going to be talking to the lawyer?
I can go talk to the lawyer after I'm done getting the armor, while Levitt goes to talk to Luigi.
What I'm wondering is, does the Rock of Bral have any laws against flooding the market? Because if what we have done, selling lots of gems, is not against any local trading laws, then there's no damages to be had because it's just business. Yeah.
I can certainly ask about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy can possibly get us on a sword dropping on his head. The other things we haven't been told, and that's why I'm trying to build up a case for when we haven't been here, so that if he can say we've done this, that, and the other. I mean, he could make accusations against Higgimus's office working against him. That might be a bit more awkward because they're still our responsibility.
So
I mean, we could probably get off the sword thing by proving that it was an accident.
Well, I think it would be reasonable to say a sword hit me, it hurt me, I want some money, right?
Yeah.
And what I would say is we just if we see him in court and that is the guy, we go over and we give him a bag of gold, which is 10 times what we got fined. Yeah. And we do it in front of the judge. We say, right, we cut off. We never knew anything about this. We cast a spell. We saw the sword hit someone. You match the description. This is 10 times what we got fined for disturbing the peace. Yeah. And if the judge isn't happy with that and wants to make it more than that, that's up to the judge. But we're offering you this now as an interim payment on what we think we should give you.
So the magistrate's not going to care, and the reason is because this is between you and him. He would just say, "All right, I'm dropping the case," and any fees would need to be paid to the magistrate. But then everyone goes home. But keep in mind that he is alleging a concerted effort by you guys against him, with multiple incidences starting with and ending with, and the events in between are the ones that you don't know about.
I understand that, and we don't know about the middle ones, which is why I'm trying to work out, trace our movements. But I think the first one we would probably have to address if it is the same guy. If it's not the same guy, then I don't want to pay him anything.
Right. And if it's not the same guy, then you got a pretty good argument in your favor of saying, "Hey, this guy's absolutely lying, and he's not the one who got hit." Blah blah blah.
Right.
And then, but either way, like whether it's the jury or the concilium, it's all basically, who do they believe, you or them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is why we need character witnesses that can convince the jury that we are trustworthy and honorable people.
Yeah.
They don't need to necessarily prove any of the claims that he is making false, but just prove that we are honorable and trustworthy.
Yeah.
That our character is good.
Yep.
Let's first go and talk to the lawyer and find out how they would solve it, how they would go about it.
So, do you guys want to do that together? Like, Finn has already gone off, unless, Finn, you want to go to the lawyer first and like, just talk to the two.
No, Finn was planning on getting out at first light to watch the building all day, so...
Okay, all right. So, the rest of you, do you want to just, like, meet with the two lawyers and get a feel first, and then go off and do your own things?
I don't mind that,
Solas is fine with the rest of the group, trusting that Solas would rather start gathering the character witnesses as early as possible.
Okay.
Do you want a blessed watchfulness, Finn?
No, thank you.
Braxon will go with the other people, with the lawyers, and then try and do what he was going to do in the rest of the day.
Okay. Lafdul, how about you?
What point are you going to see the lawyers?
It would be first
thing.
Yeah, before going off and doing their other things after seeing the time pool.
Alright, no, I guess I would go with the party.
Okay. Alright, so Ockar, Leva, Braxon, and Lafdul. Do you want to head to Javlarst or Galver first?
Let's start with Galvers.
Okay.
Which one is that? The 91?
That is
the 41.
That's the 41.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one Leva would have proposed to.
Okay. So he's got a small office, and I'll figure out where I want that to be later. He just has himself and a secretary. And you've luckily caught him, early before he's gotten started on anything else. And he is perfectly willing to spend an hour consulting with you while you make it clear that you're trying to decide on who to help you, and he's perfectly fine with that for an hour consulting fee, which has already been paid. So he looks over the document and kind of is tapping his lip while looking at it and says, yes, I have not dealt with too many lawsuits. I mostly deal with criminal cases, but I know the law and can certainly help you. The first thing that I would say is it's really going to depend on whether you think that you would get a better, more friendly audience with the people or the scholars. That is entirely up to you, and I would not be able to help you decide. But I can definitely do some legal research if you have questions on that, and consult with you in any way that you need. So would you guys tell him that you're planning to get like character witnesses together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He says that would be excellent. The more of those that you have, especially if they can be relevant to events in question, that would play a big part with either group. I guess what I would say is what you'd really want is to string together a story that makes sure to tell what you want to convey to the jury. Not just like, here's a random person who has something to say good about you, here's someone else who has something random, but make them thematic, make them connect together if you can.
We are, well, I think our narrative will be that we are a bunch of minor heroes who put the interests of the people of Bral above our own lives, and always have done. And we have absolutely no motivation for wanting to make random businessmen go out of business.
And when it comes to the whole gem supply thing, I figure our story for that would be that, which is true, that we were trying to help pay our crews for their time while we were lost in wild space to help with help supporting their families and stuff. So we didn't have enough liquid cash, so we had to sell all those gems to do it.
We got documentation of arriving on Bral and then leaving Bral on a short trip to offload some gems elsewhere. Would you know if there are any rules about restrictions on selling certain numbers of cargo on Bral?
There is no such restriction at all.
Right.
It is whatever the market can bear.
So we could have sold more gems than that, and we wouldn't have been doing anything wrong by Bral law.
Legally speaking, no. But this is also a civil case, not a criminal case.
Yeah.
But as a civil case, he's trying to prove that we intentionally turned up to sell these gems, and I think our story can show that we were thrown across several crystal spheres by a cosmic storm and just arrived back, and that was not under our control, and we don't even know who the guy is.
Well, I can certainly make some inquiries. I don't know Holstoy and Gavich themselves, but I can certainly make legal inquiries as well. Yeah, go ahead,
Go on.
Lafdul, with the question.
How on earth did he put 2 and 2 together?
That is
us.
unfortunately something that you will need to bring up during the trial. Unless you have some other ways of determining that, other people you could ask or something of that nature.
Mm.
I have a question for you, Galva.
Yes.
Obviously, you're a lawyer and you do what your clients pay you to do, but do you care whether we're right or wrong?
Well, this is a civil suit. It isn't
Yes.
necessarily about right or wrong. But if you do not, I have been listening to you, and I definitely do believe you when you say that you have no ill intentions towards him, and you do not know him. He will probably make that out to be a lie, but you seem sincere, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we? We should try to look into witnesses back when we were doing that whole thing where the sword event even happened. I'm trying my damnedest to remember any of the NPCs from that quest line.
So that was
It was a
the
mage.
Scourge of the Skaver one, where you were investigating the attacks by the supposed giant Skaver that turned out to be a metal ship.
Right.
Yeah. There's some tinker gnomes that we could.
If they're even still in the sphere.
Oh, that's what I got my dagger of ice and fire from.
There's
From
some
that gnome wizard.
there's some tinker gnomes that we saved during that. Were we
Yeah, that's our last
working
raid.
for anybody in specific for that job?
House Calhane.
We could ask House Calhane to be a character witness as well, since they were the ones that gave us to work in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, and after we'd done that job, we were granted had the generosity of the prince that we now have ownership of that asteroid after completion of that event.
Yeah. So, yeah, getting people that were directly involved in that we could try to do. Yeah.
So, Galva, I hear that you've done other work for people that were wronged on a sort of pro bono basis. Is that
When
true?
I can, yes.
Okay, Brax is going to say to the others, well, obviously it's a vote on everyone, but I'd rather go with the lawyer that's trying to help people because it fits more in
You
with
might
our
want to wait
ethos.
until you actually talk.
We haven't
Yeah,
even heard the
let-
other person.
Let's go meet with the other guy, though.
Yeah.
So far, yes, he has my vote.
Yeah.
So,
I'm still going to say that while he's in the room.
yeah.
I want to go
Sometimes
for
you
the guy
don't-
that's hungry for the truth.
Sometimes you don't want a lawyer that cares too much. They make mistakes. You want a lawyer that's that does its work.
Partial.
That's true.
Yep. So Leva would definitely not yet say yes to this one.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm asking for a vote now. I'm just saying that
Lawyer
Braxton
can
has
be-
that. Braxton has said that in front of the other group and the lawyer.
Okay.
Okay,
That he-
so
I'll thank him for his time, and we'll go check out the next guy.
all right.
Yeah, Braxton
and
thanked him for his
since
time.
you guys were there an hour, if there's things that you think of that you would have wanted to ask him, I'm perfectly happy retconning that. And same thing with the Solas and Finn.
Oh,
If you think of
I
something that you would have asked if you had been there, I'm perfectly fine saying that it's something that someone else
would've-
thought of or something like that. So yeah, Lafdul.
asked him where evidence would likely be stored if it was to be used against us. Would that be at the magistrate or would it be at the other law firm?
As this is a civil suit, that would actually probably be in the possession of the one suing you, unless if it is their own personal possession. If it is something that the barristers themselves uncovered or recovered, then they would probably hold on to it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Braxon says if we choose to retain you rather than the other lawyers, would you be able to find legal documents surrounding that incident with a sword?
I can absolutely make an attempt, yes.
Right. Thank you.
The likelihood of finding that depends very much on which magistrate it's with.
Yeah, it was a lower magistrate, so
that would be more difficult.
Office.
That would be more difficult. They are notoriously busy and understaffed and have a poor filing system, shall we say.
It also happened years ago.
But I will make an attempt.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Is there like a statute limitations on when you can bring somebody up for something like this?
For a lawsuit, no such thing. It could be something that happened to you 99 years ago, and they could still bring a suit against you for it.
Well, that sucks for elves. Okay, thank you.
Obviously,
Yeah,
the longer
disadvantage.
there is between events, the less likely you are to prevail. Juries and even the concilium tend to look down on that and be like, "Why did you not bring it up earlier?" So you would always have to have some kind of good reason why it did not come up earlier.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you head on over to Javlarst. The four of you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a larger firm. Javlarst himself will meet with you, but they definitely have more than just a secretary. There are 3 other lawyers in the firm as well, not to mention other assorted staff. So he welcomes you in and looks over the document and says, "Ah, yes. Well, this is a case that would be against Holstoy and Gavich. They are quite formidable, but we would be happy to take on the case. What do you wish to know?"
Oh, I just give them the same spiel. We say we've got character witnesses.
That's
You
the
know
same
how-
kind of questions that we asked the last guy.
Okay. The
Yeah, we're
basic
comparing them.
advice is following a similar line. When you ask about getting legal documents from the magistrate, you'll hear a similar thing of they can absolutely do that, Javlarst himself speaks quite proudly of having multiple staff members who can go through the magistrate's records to find whether there is the information that you're looking for. He also likes the idea of finding character witnesses, and he will also tell you that the best idea is to string a story, like connect them up with a story to tell, as opposed to just being random people that might confuse the jury or concilium. So the basic, advice is pretty standard that he's giving you. You kind of come to the conclusion. He also says, we have been opposing counsel with Holstoy and Gavich on a number of occasions, but we've also worked with them on quite a few contracts. We have a good working relationship with them. I might be able to find out more about what the charges are if you take us on."
That'd certainly be useful.
How many times have you beaten them?
Well, we have not gone up against them in a court too often, but we've beaten them a few times. You definitely get the impression that most of their dealings have been like contract disputes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And contract negotiations where, like in a contract negotiation, there isn't really a winner or a loser in terms of the
Settlement.
the lawyers. You know, even in a contract dispute, you know, there really isn't a winner or a loser in terms of the lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they both kind of end up winning by the end.
Right. Who you know, like whichever party gets the better end of the deal doesn't matter too much to the lawyers in such situations. But they have done some lawsuit work, and you would suss out that they have about they've won about a fourth of the time against Holstoy and Gavage. But you know, and you can look up some of those cases as well if you want.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any additional questions or specific questions for them? You know, try to figure out what would be different besides what's already been said between them and Galver.
Have they done any work for the guy that's taken us to court?
No, we have not. We're not very familiar with him. No, I think there was a contract negotiation that we worked on once.
Okay.
A number of years back. I'd have to look up the details, though. Yelena?
Lever was not very happy with their response to whether they've gone against the others or not. A few times that's not good enough. So how many times did you actually go against them, and how many times did you win?
So you would
Summarized it to the fourth.
Yeah, about 1/4. Keep in mind, Galver has never gone up against Tolstoy and Gavage.
So we have this guy has experience against them, the other guy has no experience against them, and they have a bigger firm, so they can more easily get like evidence from the legal people.
Yeah.
The collateral they can use against another firm is a lot higher as well.
If Braxon would ask, because Braxon, you asked Galver how he feels about whether you're right or not.
Yeah.
If you ask Javlarst, he would say, as long as you're being truthful with us, we don't really care whether you have something against this Faldric fellow. As long as you're truthful with us, we will defend you to the best of our ability, regardless of the facts of the matter.
Well, at least you're being honest about that.
I have one question that I would have put for the party.
Sure.
About this proceeding, since we only find out the actual charges on the first hearing, how long would we have time after the first hearing to prepare defenses?
Well, Javlas said that he could see about figuring out what the charges are as well if we pick him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in general.
So the initial meeting is usually preceded a week later by the start of the trial, and you won't really find out everything next time. There's just going to be a quick rundown of some of the events, kind of thing. Like the first event is more of the administrative side, getting everything rolling.
Right.
Well, Lara, for herself, has decided which one she wants to go with.
Okay, so
Yes.
real fast, he would
Brain's
also say
wheelhouse.
that he's 90 gold pieces per hour plus expenses. The other place is 40 gold pieces per hour. Flat.
Plus expenses?
No plus expenses.
He's
only the one guy, so he does it all.
No, Lara would go for the more expensive one.
Well, you guys can, like, you won't have to choose it right now, and there are two other people who are not with you to make a vote.
Yeah,
so.
we don't have Finn here, and we don't have Solas here, so that's something to discuss later.
Yeah.
Possibly over Discord after the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, as players, you can decide, you can discuss it and decide it, and then come back next time, and once all the characters have gotten back together, you can just say, we discuss it, and our decision is going to be this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfectly fine.
I know Braxon's going to go for the guy from the Church of Tyr.
Okay,
I need to think about it.
See, I'm with Lava on this one. I'd rather go with the expensive lawyers.
Well, it's not the expensive one. He makes a much more professional impression.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's more impartial.
Yes.
I'm a bit divided between the two right now
Invested
after
in
listening
us.
to them.
All right,
I was
well,
a lot more solidified before listening.
you guys can make a decision.
Yep.
In between. Now,
Obviously,
one
obviously
thing
we're
that
two-sided.
I will say is that you definitely get the impression that the way that his firm is gonna find out what the other party is accusing you of in the lawsuit is through bribes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, just so you know.
And or expenses. Bribery.
Right,
Yes.
that's what the expenses
Exactly.
are. All right, so, and you won't know what those expenses are until after he does them and stuff like that, so,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Can he tell us a sort of gauge of how high they would be?
Nope.
In what area are we talking about?
Nope, he cannot.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
It's in thousands.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so,
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do they accept gemstones as payment?
they might.
Okay.
They might. They are open to negotiations on how exactly you pay.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's go ahead and calculate out some experience points. That is going to be all right, 1,000 experience for Braxon, Ockar, Solas, and Leva. 1,500 experience for Finn, and 1,750 for Finn, 1,500 for Lafdul. Sorry.
Another 10,000 XP, and I'll finally reach level 11.
All right. So when we come back next week, which Ockar, you're out next week, right?
I am.
Okay, so there is a chance that we may not be back next week, but we'll see. But when we come back next time, we will be seeing what the rest of the party does in this day. I should also note that for your remaining crew, the Gif and the dwarves, another pay period has passed, so you do need to pay them. But all the other crew, the sailors, don't get paid anymore because you let them go.
Yeah.
But when we come back next time, we shall see how the party does with their discussions for character witnesses and what else they want to do to prepare for this this lawsuit that they're facing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you all for playing, and I want to thank everyone out there for watching. Have a good rest of your day. See you next time, everyone.
See ya.
Take
Thanks
care,
for the
everyone.
game.
Thanks for the game.
Thanks for the game.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the game.